What's up, everybody? Jensen Cummings here. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Today, we are Best Served Podcast 172. We're talking AI, that's artificial intelligence driven digital menus with Jerry Abiog of Standard Insights. Thank you, Jerry, for being on the show.
Thanks, Jensen. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Best Served Smart, where we're really focusing on smart kitchens, technology, innovation, tools, equipment, all of the products and services that restaurants are going to need in the future evolutions that are happening rapidly in this moment of the restaurant industry, the restaurant model. That's what we're talking. Jerry is co-founder and CMO at Standard Insights. You guys are based in Fort Myers, Florida. You're coming to us from Atlanta. So let's tell everybody, Standard Insights, what's your company up to? What can people in the restaurant industry expect from you?
Yeah, Standard Insights. So we're a startup, 2 years old. At our main core, we help companies. It's an AI service growth marketing platform.
Okay.
And what we do is we help companies across many verticals prioritize and execute data-driven omni-channel campaigns. And why is this important, Jensen? Well, it helps you as a business owner or company target the right person with the right product or menu item, in this case, or service at the right time to help your business become competitive in an increasingly data-driven world with marketing precision using artificial intelligence.
Yeah, this can be a struggle sometimes on the restaurant side because we are so tactile. We create things with our hands. We interact with the face, which is why COVID has been just a big struggle. We're stripped away of that face-to-face interaction a little bit. And so that's where we are. So operating this is outside of the expectations that we've had coming up in this industry. We very much need to have butts in seats. That's the way we're thinking about this.
Correct.
This now to me is like, this is inside your four walls. This is a table touch. You have 36 tables in your restaurant. No, now you have the potential for 2,784 table touches because you have this device here and the ability to reach people. So just want to make sure and set the tone. It's not a choice. If you're going to be a part of technology, if you're going to be in this industry long term, the only choice is which services and products you specifically use. So let's touch on that. Why, as a restaurant, why should I be looking at what you're doing with Standard Insights with the iOrder platform? Like, talk about what differentiates you and your work specific to the restaurant industry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Technology, whether it's our software or someone else's, it's a must-have nowadays to survive. Forget about thriving, just surviving. So Standard Insights, we started off with the e-commerce vertical and branched out to other verticals, finance, brick and mortar, and restaurants. We actually branched out to restaurants last year when one of our competitors was purchased by McDonald's. So McDonald's purchased one of our competitors just to help with customer growth using artificial intelligence. So we developed this AI-driven digital menu last year. But to be honest, it kind of fell flat. I felt, far ahead of what was going on. I took that platform to a buddy of mine who now is a client of iOrder, and he said, "Hey, this is just doesn't make sense in today's day and age." Right. So this was last summer, not that long ago. So we talked to a couple other restaurants, same feedback. So we shelved it and started focusing on other verticals. But along comes COVID in March. Shuts down the entire planet. We pulled it out of the garage. We tweaked it, retooled it, and branded it as its own entity, if you will, iOrder.menu. And why? Well, because of COVID. CDC's recommending that menus be either a paper, which you really can't do much with paper, or digital. So that's where we are. Number one is to help restaurants, whether it's dine-in, delivery or curbside, have everyone feel comfortable and safe.
Gotcha. Let's talk. I want to talk about two different things as far as the platform itself. I want to talk about the UI UX of it. What, as a consumer, am I going to do, just so people can understand what their guest experience will be from having basically a contactless dining menu experience is what we're looking at. And then I want to talk about what a restaurant has to do. What's the back end? What's the admin? What's the dashboard they're going to have to interact with? What's the onboarding process? All that. But start with the guest experience. What can I expect when I'm looking at my iOrder menu?
So when you walk into a restaurant, either the restaurant will have promoted your restaurant.iorder.menu link, or there'll be a QR code at the door or maybe at the table. So right then and there, the customer scans and the menu appears on their phone. So mind you, there are a lot of companies now going into the digital menu space. I mean, we're one of them, but three things that makes us different. So if you go to our website, iorder.menu, it says on the top, this isn't your father's digital menu. And that's for three reasons. Number one, so we go beyond just uploading your menu and slapping on a payment gateway. That's not us. We go beyond that. So three ways. Number one, we provide personalized recommendations. So what Jensen's favorite food and drink items or Jerry's favorite food and drink items, right? So, I like hot food and light beer. You may like the opposite. You may like the heavier beers and mild food. So that's number one, personalized recommendations. Number two is data-driven marketing outreach. So restaurants, they kind of fell behind the curve with regards to marketing, but we take marketing. Yeah.
Restaurants are horrible. Restaurants are horrible at marketing. I was when I was in a restaurant because we think like just create a good food or a drink and have good hospitality and that's enough. And maybe that used to be, I don't know if that was ever true, but maybe it was. Now there's just so much competition. Somebody else is more dynamic than you. You need to be that. So I like the way you're politicking that, but we suck at marketing. We absolutely need to market.
Well, to be politically correct, you never know these days. But I like what you said about being competitive. So we take it even a step further with data-driven marketing. So we go beyond just sending, a mass text or a mass email that may or may not be relevant to you. So now it's based on data. So per my earlier elevator pitch, we're talking about using AI with marketing precision. So right then we know what Jensen likes. We know what Jerry likes. And the third piece of the puzzle that makes us different is predictive and prescriptive analytics. So we're going beyond just, hey, what happened in the past, what can happen, and what's likely to happen. So now when you're using predictive and prescriptive analytics, you're looking at improving operations, improving efficiencies, what's trending here and there. And so those are the three things that make us different: the personalized recommendations, data-driven marketing outreach, and number three, predictive and prescriptive analytics.
One question is is it an app that you need to download? Is it a web-based? What is that actually?
All web-based. Just from our research, people have a lot of apps on their phone, and like, oh gosh, you had to download another app. Yeah.
I just had to erase like 50 apps because
there you go.
So I hear you 100%. So okay, now when you're talking about the trends and some of that, what's happening into the future, how are you aggregating that information to then deploy that for marketing for restaurants?
So right now, everyone's kind of starting from scratch, ground zero, if you will, right? Opening, closing, opening again. So it's going to be a slow build. So if I go to the restaurant up my street, they've just recently opened, or they're only doing curbside or delivery. We get the information and we aggregate it slowly, right? Today's the first month. Next month is 2. And at the end of the year, it'll be 6 months.
You're talking about micro. You're in the location. You're basically taking consumer guest information, all the trends. You're basically creating predictive information around what that person is going to do on an individual basis. Are you looking at macro trends and then trying to give intel to your clients to understand the macro trends from food, from marketing, anything like that?
No, just within your specified restaurant. So the restaurant up the street, they do, let's just say 1,600 orders per month, give or take. It's the behavior patterns of all 1,600 people.
Understood.
Yeah.
Jensen, marketing, the restaurant's ability to then take their menu, take their story, whatever it is that's hosted on on their specific channel within iOrder. How then are you helping them amplify that outside of those four walls?
So once they leave the restaurant, right? So you go to the back end of our platform, there's a marketing outreach button, and then within a few clicks, we'll connect it together with email or text. Probably text is preferred with restaurants. And once you leave, and however you set it up, whether it's once a week or once every other week or every day, depending on how big your restaurant is, within 2 clicks of your or mouse, you can execute data-driven, in this case, text campaigns on menu items that are relevant to Jensen specifically or Jerry specifically.
Text is big right now. If you have the trust and confidence of a database on text, the conversion, I mean, email is not even in the conversation in comparison to text. So I'm a big believer. Any other integrations, any other with Messenger, I think is a huge white space that restaurants need to be looking at. Instagram, Facebook, any other integrations that are happening in the works? Like, talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So to your point, yes. So WhatsApp, and then Facebook Messenger. As long as most of these apps nowadays are API friendly, if it's API friendly, we can connect it together.
I like that a lot. It's very, very important for restaurants to think about. All right, you mentioned the dashboard on the backside. Now, I am a operator. I'm looking to bring on your product. I love the elevator pitch. I love all of it. I'm into it. I know that I need to be on technology or I'm going to get left in the dust. What's the process? Talk about the onboarding process, because again, this is where we just go, I just don't have time for this. I'm too busy. We just did 200 covers. I don't have time for this. That is an excuse we use a lot in restaurants because we're so go all the time. So talk about the process. I'm guessing you had to make sure it's very simple, streamlined.
Yeah. So we'll walk you through it. So either myself, one of my teammates will walk you through it. It's uploading the menu and then making a few modifications and getting your bank info to take the payments. And we'll do a few trial runs and you're off to the races.
Okay. Bank payments, daily payouts. What's the process of that?
Yeah, we don't touch your money. It goes directly to your, like if you have your PayPal or Google Pay, that's something we're a firm believer against. We don't want to take your money and dole it out later. That's just not our job.
Understood. Makes sense to me. You mentioned a couple clicks of the mouse. Is it also something that I can be managing from this?
Yeah, your phone or your iPad.
Okay, great. And
cloud-based. Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely. So let's talk about the next big potential for things to get lost in translation when it comes to restaurants. We are in the hospitality industry. We are so quick to respond to our customer, our guest, our needs. And so getting put in a queue, it's troublesome for us. So we struggle a little bit with time. We're so instant gratification. We so solve issues very quickly. And then sometimes we're like, all right, well, let's look at this. Let's put in a service ticket. Let's have our developers or your account manager take a look at it. And it can feel clumsy for us. I just noticed we've been on that side. Talk about the customer service side of the equation.
So we're there to help, hold your hand. And just like with anything, and I'm not going to sugarcoat, there is going to be an adjustment period, whether it's this tech or anyone else, or even on the customer end coming into the restaurant and, hey, I used to get the regular menu, and now it's all shifting towards, ordering on your phone. So there is going to be adjustment, but we're there to hold your hand every step of the way.
All right. I want to talk now. I get it. I get how it works, the interaction. When you're talking to restaurants, I think one of the things that's very important is to rebuild. It's not the restaurant's fault. It's what's happening right now. Yet there's still not a trust and confidence in restaurants for one reason or another at large in the market, dine-in, and what's happening with PPE and social distancing. All of those things are just creating a little bit of turmoil. We see that playing out. Restaurants now are adopting a multitude of processes as well as services, applications, technology to basically be able to build back that trust and confidence. Somebody gets on the app, the restaurant is using it, they're pushing it out there, they're starting with their email database, sending them an email, Facebook, social media, reconnecting with their audience and saying, here's all the ways that we're going to keep you safe and give you the best possible experience we always have, even though it's done slightly differently. How then are you saying that people need to be communicating, restaurants need to be communicating to their audiences about this digital menu platform? What are the things that you see the general consumer market being excited about, or again, building that confidence? Like, what's the conversation we need to have about how what we're doing is going to help keep people safe?
Just open and honest communication. And the way, at least in the restaurants I've talked to or in my neighborhood here near downtown Atlanta, is, social media outreach, right? If you're posting about your specials of the day, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, but man, just reassure them that, hey, everyone, we're in this together, and we literally are, right? This is a global event that everyone's experiencing. Just like, hey, we're here together, we're here to help you out, but here are some new things that we're implementing to make your customer experience, make you guys feel safe.
Yeah, I think that's important. The user, right? Now we're downloading more apps. Now we're trying to figure out how we interact. Is it a paper menu? Am I using an app? Is there a QR code? All of that. It can be a little bit clumsy again. It's the adoption of it. It's people getting used to it. We're getting used to it very, very quickly. We still need to get a little bit. So demos, like how are the training that you give staff to then train their guests, like give us a little bit of that, like how the guests can get comfortable and savvy when it comes to utilizing iOrder.
So it's with the restaurant. So we'll train the managers, right, over Zoom, or if they're up in my neighborhood, just drop on in, right. But then it's up for them to kind of coach their customers on how the new way of doing things. Whether it's again social media posts or when they're coming into a restaurant, this is what we're doing. This is it'll take a little bit of adjustment as people get used to it.
Yeah, I hear that. Let's talk about contracts, cost, any of that. Give us a little insight. I'm into it. I want to do it. All of that. What can I expect as far as it is?
So all the cost levels are on our site. Go to iOrder.menu, and you'll see the pricing. But we've got all the way from the starter package, where it just gives you the personalized recommendations, and it's $1 per transaction. So if you're $30 is your average transaction, then we charge you $1. And then that's just the basic menu personalized recommendations. The next one up on that is $49 a month, but it's 25 cents per transaction, and that's personalized menus. The third level, which is the most popular, it's $99 a month. It's 15 cents per transaction now, and it includes the data-driven outreach. And then our gold package, if you will, $199 per month, and it's 8 cents per transaction. So it's price friendly for mom and pop restaurants.
Got it. So depending on, you want to be paying more per transaction and
correct,
have less when it comes to not paying as much on the monthly, or if you want to invert
exactly
that, you're doing enough transactions. Give me an idea of the transactions you just threw out randomly, like 1,600 in a month, something like that. When and how does the math really make sense? Like, when does it make sense to get into one or the other? I'm sure you guys have been kind of studying the numbers as far as how many transactions mean that you're at this level or that level.
So I let them pick, right? So the 1,600, that's actually from one of our clients. That's the average number of orders they get per month. And typically people will start off with the $49 a month at 25 cents per order. Because what we're trending and seeing is, 3, 4, 5x once we get things rolling. So, and then right now, some restaurants may not have the customer traffic, right, to warrant marketing. So if you want to build up, start off with the $49, and then sometimes there may be other apps in competition. So when you go to the website or to Google, like, hey, there are 4 apps, pick one, right? So, sure. But I'd recommend just starting off with the lower end until they feel comfortable, and then as we get more and more data to progress to the higher end ones.
And is it a month-to-month contract?
So we've got minimum 3-month contracts. So no equipment. We're waiving setup fees and everything just because of COVID.
Okay, good. That's nice. Then the integration with delivery side, it makes sense for me on location. It makes sense when you're talking about just curbside, right? Because you're just interacting with one user and the restaurant.
Right.
When you start to add on the delivery, if there's third-party delivery apps, how does that integrate? What does that look like?
So we not as of yet integrate with third-party delivery apps. The restaurants, the mom and pop restaurants in my neighborhood, they'll take care of their own delivery within a 2 to 3 mile radius.
Okay.
Right. But then, outside of the 3 mile radius, the high cost food apps take care of that. Right. So I know a lot of restaurants are trying to mitigate that, the usage of Uber and Grubhub, and well, we don't have to go into
big
the
keys there.
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Okay. What haven't we touched on? We got a couple minutes left. This has been really great, super informative. I think every restaurant, again, has to be looking at this. And as you mentioned, there's a lot of apps in the market, but I think connecting us to humans is always the thing that's important to us.
Yeah.
So, I think it's important that now we know Jerry with iOrder. When you take a look at the site, you got to have the context. So I think it's an important part of the process. What else do we not know about standard insights in iOrder? What else do we need to know?
Just on a holistically and global level, I mean, we've all been sucker punched with this pandemic globally, but there's a saying, and Winston Churchill coined this, never let a good crisis go to waste. So it's time for restaurants.
Quotable man in history.
Yeah, to take a look at within themselves and seeing what can be done. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but those that look, further beyond and adopt technologies will win going forward. I mean, I always give this example when I'm talking to people. During the Great Recession back in 2008 and 2009, there was a little unknown company called Netflix.
Yeah.
That Blockbuster, we all rented our movies, went to Blockbuster, was on every corner. And Blockbuster poo-pooed Netflix, that they weren't gonna be anything. And look, what's happening now. So fast forward here, 2020, with these technologies that are rapidly, it's an arms race. All these tech companies are coming to the market, racing to the market. Man, give me a call, schedule a demo on our website, and just seeing if this is right for you, because we'd be honored to have you on as a customer. But take a look, explore the different technologies out there that can help your restaurant, rise from the ashes of COVID.
Yep. Well, like I said, it's all about humans. So I want to take the last minute. We're all about acknowledgement on the show. Absolutely. Who came up with the idea for the AI-driven digital menu?
Yeah, so it's one of my fellow co-founder. He's in Chennai, India. He came up with this last summer. And I'm like, really? Why? And it's like, and I said, all right, man, let me take it to a restaurant up the street who's now our client, but he kind of brushed me aside last summer.
Sure.
But and the moral of that story is, or a couple things. You always got to look ahead.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you look ahead, it just may not be the right time. But COVID came. What are you going to do? We pulled it out of the garage. And I was in a restaurant virtual conference a few weeks back. And we all know restaurants, they don't like technology. We know that. But all these ideas, the digitization for restaurants, there was a 3 to 4 year roadmap. Now with COVID, it's a 3 to 4 month roadmap.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do as a restaurant? There are over 660,000 restaurants here stateside. We're either the number one or number two employer in the country, right? So yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, it's a big part of our cultural fabric, economic fabric as well.
I cannot.
So yeah.
I am such a believer in that. We talk about it almost every episode, that restaurants are fundamentally the pillars of both culture and commerce in community. And I think we see the need for investing in restaurants more than ever. They're absolutely the linchpins of any given community. So I really appreciate that. Jerry, thank you so much for talking to us. I love the fact that we're having these conversations, because I think the adoption of technology is something that is long overdue for the industry. It pains me that it's this that's bringing it to the forefront.
Yeah.
Yet I know that, from a lot of this strife is going to come opportunity. And I think those that are forward thinking and are adopting technology are going to be at the forefront in leadership in this industry as we move forward. So Jerry, thank you so much. Standard Insights and iOrder. Check it out. Check out the website. Give it a demo. If nothing else, you need to start understanding what's happening in the landscape. And if Jerry and his team can help you out, then that is what we're here to do, introduce you to new people and new opportunities. So Jerry, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, thanks, Jensen. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Have a great day. Cheers. All right. Thank you so much to Jerry. All right, everybody. So Best Served Smart. This is an important channel. And we're talking so much about the different technologies, equipments, tools, services, and products that we need in the industry to evolve, to continue to move forward, to innovate, to be able to make sure that we are at the forefront of what happens next in culture and commerce, like I said, and also within the restaurant industry itself, within your four walls, which, as I say again and again, it includes this, is inside your four walls now. Table touches within here, they absolutely matter. So that is it for today. Again, thank you to Jerry. This is Best Served Podcast 172, AI-driven digital menus. Jerry Abiog of Standard Insights was on. He was coming from Atlanta. They are based in Florida. Thank you so much, as always. I appreciate you. Cheers.